Many people visit the city but don't know just how much is going on behind the scenes in order to keep the metropolis operational. Electrical grids are being monitored and building maintenance is happening, all while residents move along the streets without a care in the world. The area also needs to be cleaned, with street sweepers and garbage trucks moving around to whisk away the refuse, because no city wants the trash to start piling up and creating a hazard. Sometimes, though, the human factor is what becomes the biggest danger. On December 22, 2014, tragedy struck the city of Glasgow when a bin lorry lost control and crashed into pedestrians on Queen Street. The devastating incident resulted in multiple fatalities and injuries, leaving a lasting impact on victims and their families. In the aftermath of the crash, there were numerous questions raised about what led to this horrific event and how it could have been prevented. Like most cities around the world, the days leading up to Christmas mean the area is usually bustling with activity. Last-minute shopping trips and people visiting from out of town makes the city come alive with movement. Glasgow isn't any different, and the holiday season means more people on the streets of the city. 58-year-old Harry Clark had been working for Glasgow City Council for about 4 years when he began his shift driving a bin lorry, what others might refer to as a garbage truck, on December 22, 2014. It was a green 26-ton DAF refuse collection vehicle. Harry was the driver, and there were 2 crew members seated in the rear of the lorry. At 2:30 p.m., Harry blacked out just after passing a stoplight near the Gallery of Modern Art, and after mounting the sidewalk, he traveled for 19 seconds. While on the sidewalk, Harry plowed through pedestrians and smaller structures before he crashed the vehicle between the Queen Street Railway Station and the Millennium Hotel. The incident caused the deaths of 6 pedestrians and injured 15 others. 3 of the 6 people who died were members of the same family. 68-year-old Jack Sweeney, his 69-year-old wife Lorraine, and their 18-year-old granddaughter Erin McQuaid had been out shopping with other family members, including Erin's mother Jacqueline, father Matthew, and her 2 brothers. Her father and brothers were on a different street, and her mother had stopped at an ATM when the lorry came hurtling towards them. Jacqueline said she heard a loud bang, and when she ran out to see what had happened, she found that her parents and daughter had been crushed to death. It went from a happy holiday shopping trip to an unspeakable nightmare. 29-year-old Stephanie Tate was a school teacher at St. Philomena's Primary in Glasgow. Her co-workers and students would come out to say many nice things about her as a person. She had graduated from Glasgow University, where Erin McQuaid had just started studying. 51-year-old Jacqueline Morton had been on her way to pick up her 2 grandchildren when she was struck by the lorry. She had been working at an accounting office for the previous 2 years, and her coworkers said she had really brightened up the office. 52-year-old Gillian Ewing was visiting from Edinburgh with her daughter Lucy. They had just left a jewelry shop and were headed to the train station when the crash happened. Lucy said she heard the crash, and when she turned around, her mother was gone. Of the 15 injured, many of them were taken to the hospital. Broken bones, lacerations, and bruises of varying degrees were treated. 14-year-old Alex Stewart was hit by the lorry and dragged under it until it crashed. She suffered a broken collarbone, ribs, femur, and 3 spinal bones. She had her right ear torn off, and the skin on her back was peeled off. She has permanent scarring on her back with grit from the road still in her skin. 49-year-old Elaine Morell suffered 4 facial fractures and had to have a titanium plate installed. The victims all recovered, at least physically. Many of them won't go back to Queen Street, and some have a hard time even celebrating the Christmas holiday. When Harry was first helped by an off-duty nurse, he told her that the last thing he remembered was sitting at the light down the street. He was taken to the hospital where he stayed until January 7th, more than 2 weeks. When questioned, he said he was unconscious and had no memories of the crash, but that he didn't have any heart problems. The hospital ultimately determined that he had suffered a neurocardiogenic syncope, a fainting episode caused by a drop in blood pressure. After that, authorities treated it like a tragic accident, but for the victims and their families, something didn't add up. Eventually, families were able to have the Glasgow Sheriff Court open an investigation that looked into Harry's past, and what they found was shocking. In order to be considered for the job with Glasgow City Council, Harry had to answer a health questionnaire, and it turned out that he had lied about having a history of dizziness and fainting. Harry had told the doctor that he had previously fainted in a hot canteen in 2010, but the truth was that he had lost consciousness while driving a bus for First Bus. The bus was stationary at the time, so there were no injuries, but there were passengers on the vehicle, so it was very lucky that nobody was harmed. The Glasgow City Council Human Resources said they have noted that they did receive a reference from First Bus, but nobody in the office was able to find it. With the knowledge now that Harry had lied about his medical history, Harry was brought in to answer questions about his medical record. During the interview, he repeatedly refused to answer questions and wouldn't accept responsibility for the deaths and injuries he had caused. After the inquiry was over, the Crown Office chose not to prosecute Harry Clark, insisting there was insufficient evidence to raise criminal proceedings. The victims and their families were outraged, but there was nothing that would reverse their decision. After the accident, Harry's driver's license had been revoked for medical reasons, but that didn't seem to stop him from driving. Harry was pulled over on September 20th, 2015, and he was charged with reckless driving. He pleaded guilty and was given a 3-year driving ban, a community payback order with a 12-month supervision requirement, and 150 hours of unpaid work. He was also ordered to wear an ankle monitor for 4 months, making him unable to leave his house between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. I'm confused at how the punishment for driving without a license is to be banned from driving. I mean, he already shouldn't have been driving. Will Harry Clark take the safety of others seriously and stop driving? Or will we see him on the news again, having caused more grief to innocent citizens? Only time will tell. Just remember, when out and about, those services that are there to help might just end up hurting. Thanks for letting us tell you this sinister story. If you enjoyed it, subscribe on whatever platform you're on, and hit like, rate it, or leave a comment. Join us next week when we'll take you somewhere sinister.